SK Vibemaker.
It's another one myself, SK Vibemaker, Rinse FM. My interviews are hotter. And you know we bring through the best special guests. We are not changing tradition anytime soon, man. We got West London in the building today. Lord Apex, what's going on?
I'm good, my brother. I'm loving the energy. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, you are a name that has definitely been building for the last few years, man. I feel like the status has been rising nicely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ascending lovely. But for those that don't know, how would you break down the musical journey thus far?
Easiest way to break down my musical journey has just been very kind of rising up off the underground, like starting on SoundCloud really like 2010, and then just weirdly like internet connections. I was all rapping with like this American collective for a few years. That just stemmed off into a whole different fan base where it was like I pretty much had a whole American fan base for a few years, and it wasn't really until like 2016 I started to get some traction over here. And then it was like it just started to build up on this side. So like I don't know, it's kind of been like a role like mixtape Grime. Just like a few tapes in now, probably like 15 tapes in, and just keeping it consistent, just getting the name out there. Anyway, I know how, you know what I mean? And then but it's been a nice grind, like few open mics here, a few shows there. Opened up for a few people now. It's just been a nice, consistent upping, you know what I mean?
Very prolific with the output as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some artists struggle with that, man. It's not like something to be taken lightly.
Nah, it upsets me too. And so, like my favorite artists, when they don't put out a lot of music like that, in certain cases I understand it, but like I feel like even growing up, my favorite artists would probably be more like mixtape artists. So it's like I was listening to a lot of Gucci Mane because Gucci Mane was putting out mixtapes like every month. I was listening to a lot of Lil Wayne because Lil Wayne was putting out 30 projects on a mixtape, and he was doing it like every 2-3 months. So it's just like I was always a fan of consistency. Even Lil B, Mac Miller, Currency, Wiz Khalifa, like there was a whole bunch of different artists where it was like, all right, like I can rely on you because you're consistent, you know what I mean? Whereas certain artists, like a more prolific artist, it might be a 2-3 year wait, and it's like, who has that time, bro? I don't have that time to wait for you. So it was just, I was always more of a fan of that. So when I started getting into making music, I always knew I wanted to be someone that had a like extensive catalog, like heavy. You can see all my mistakes in there. You can just see the growth, like whether it's like 10 mixtapes or it's 100. In my head, I was really aiming for 500, but we'll see how life goes.
For me, the 2-year thing was like the maximum, man. I'm not trying to wait longer than 2 years. Nah. Let you have a little bit of time to, you know, experience life and get some more content. Exactly. And that 2 years is a push. If you're going like 3 or 4 years, then just be ready for when you come back that maybe people might have forgotten you. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you're like touring, and I can understand, you know what I mean? Because it's like, all right, cool, you got to go do that. That might all be a year out of your thing.
Trust.
And then you got to go work on new music. So certain cases I can understand it, but it's not always the case, innit? So it's like, I do love consistency in an artist, man. Or just, it doesn't even have to be quality, but you're giving me the quantity I need, you know what I mean?
Really? Your quantity over quality?
Yeah. Because I would say, like, I don't even in my own music, I'm not even heavy on, like, it may sound quality to someone else, but I know how much work I'm putting into the song. So whereas I made a song in 5 minutes, that's not quality to me. But to the level I'm writing at, per se, it might sound quality to someone just because it's like, boom. So even me, I'm like, I ain't even put on no quality like that because I've just been chilling. Like, it's just all been fun up to
I don't think we can quantify quality by the amount of time it takes to do it, though. That's because, true. You know, if you're very good at it, you'll make it look easy. You know what I'm saying? Because I make a lot of stuff look easy, and people might be like, I need to respect the value and the quality and the hours that I've put in and how I make it look sexy with it. True. You know what I'm saying? So let's not undervalue something because maybe we're very good at it and we can do it quicker than the average.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Because even with that 5 minutes being said, I've still putting my 10,000 hours in it. So like my 5 minutes is not everyone else's 5 minutes.
Straight up.
Because like I already know what I'm doing. Like from I started recording music, like I was recording in the back of a youth club that like I got introduced to because my friend, he like rap for Loki just in Grove, just on the road, and he was like, yeah, come to this youth club. And then we started going to the studio, and in the back you probably had like 30 minutes to a person. So it was like, all right, I knew I had to be prepared. I had to come with the beat I want. I had to come with the song already written. So it was like time, can't waste time like that. It's like, yeah, now it might be like if we're creating a new vibe and da-da-da-da-da, like, yeah. But like back then it was just like we're working on short time. So like it was always like I had to be prepared. Every time I'm recording, I'm prepared. Like songs already wrote, beats already there. I know what I'm doing. So it was just, it's a different preparation in that sense. So I don't want to downplay it, but definitely I still know I could be putting in more quality into the music. It's just, I just look at it like that. You know
Straight. I mean, with your come up, you know, the way that you put out your music with the prolific output and you put a lot of it on SoundCloud. Many people might call you a SoundCloud rapper. Back then, they might still call you it now. Now, there was a stigma attached to that, being called a SoundCloud rapper. How do you feel about that? And when I say a stigma, often a negative stigma attached to it.
I know about this. I know the stigma.
You know what I mean? Are you calm with having that attached to your name before and maybe still now?
Before
Lord Apex, the SoundCloud rapper.
I was the first to like. Obviously, like the first few times you hear it, you're kind of like, nah, that's like you're kind of trying to put me in this box. You're trying to pigeonhole me. But then it was like I started wearing it on my sleeve because it was like, yeah, I do rap on SoundCloud. It did give me the start. It is like a whole bunch. It is a community. I did meet a whole bunch of artists I've been collabing with for like 5-6 years now through there. So it's like I'm not gonna downplay the platform just because it's a different platform than we was used to at the time. Whereas it's like, yeah, we're not getting music off MTV Base and 106 and Parks no more. It's an online thing. Once it became online, everyone in the world can make music. So it was a beautiful thing where it's like, I'm not hearing P. Diddy every day. I'm like, I can hear my brethren make a song and be a fan of my actual brethren because he now has a platform where he can upload something for free. So it was like, yeah, nah, I loved it. And then where I feel like the stigma kind of lied is while I was on SoundCloud, because it is a lot of people that are like just someone that's in college and high school and whatever, budgets and all of that is a different thing. So where I felt like the difference lied is you had artists that was on SoundCloud that just straight SoundCloud music. They ain't even put out a picture of them actual selves before. It's all different images. They're hidden. It's all rats, but you could be a big anonymous. So there's a whole bunch of anonymous rappers I used to be fans of, whereas what started to happen, let's say probably 2015, 2016, certain artists started breaking out and putting out videos. So it's like now I got a visual of you. I can't really call you a SoundCloud artist. So once I started putting out videos in like 2014, 2015, that's when I started to shy away from that and even started to pick up traction over here. Whereas before, I was on an anonymous tip as well. And it's like, yeah, you could call me that because we was all striving to be anonymous. A lot of people, especially in a more lo-fi scene, like was inspired by Doom, and Doom was big on that anonymous and not being needing to be seen in order to like get your point across and be like qualified to be a good artist.
Man, like MF Doom.
Yeah, big inspiration.
So man, Supply and Demand is the latest project. Level Up is a big song off the project. And I like a line. I like to talk about lines. There was a particular line that you said on the song where you said, coronavirus, hope you brothers ain't hitting the same bong. And it's made me think, I'm not a smoker. But there's a whole different thing going on right now because I'm thinking, you see me, I don't even eat off my mum's own fork. I don't even eat off my mum's fork. There's a lot of people that do the twos. They share a spliff, they share a cigarette.
It still happens. Saying?
But like now, I wonder if people are actually still sharing.
This is the thing.
Are you two-twosing with the joint?
I'm still twosing. But I live with my girl, so like I'm twosing with my loved one, so it's not even that deep. But same time, what happens is you'll be halfway through the spliff, you forget, and then you pass it to someone because you're being generous, innit? So now you've already broken your rule. But then you're like, who cares, man? It's just, but like, nah, in the beginning of quarantine, it was techie. It was like, I don't know if I should be sharing my spliffs. And like, you don't want to share your spliffs anyway. So you thought it was kind of a little excuse to be kind of cheeky, you know what I mean? But nah, it's like, now with the bongs, it's different because you got to put your mouth on this melting, pause. But like, it's techie, you feel me? It's not the same as like, all right, we're just hitting this little, like a cigarette, you know what I mean? So it's like, the bong, it just caught me because I'm not even hitting bongs right now, but I was just like, boy, I hope you, man.
Let's not get it twisted, man. Like whether it's a cigarette or whatever you're smoking on or a bong, man, it's still mouth to mouth.
It definitely is still. So like, just if you are passing splits, just keep it in your friend circle. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it in your bubble, as they call it.
Yeah, keep it in your bubble.
So you still keeping the
it's in my bubble. Like if you see me out in person, like I'm not gonna pass to you. I'm gonna burn the whole thing in your face, especially if you're a stranger. people know me for that as well. Like, I'm not keen on passing, like, especially if I don't know you. So it's like, yeah, man, that's never been an issue before. So like, I ain't gonna worry about no strangers.
I mean, you know, I just have to say, man, if you're grown up and you're adult enough to make that choice and you're responsible enough, if you're smoking, you're smoking, man. If you're not, if you're under the age, man, speak to your parents and your older siblings about it first.
Yeah. And on that note, we ain't influencing no youngers to go burn nothing. Wait till you're of age. Consent with your parents and that, because my parents have always been consented. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. I'm not influencing no one to go do nothing.
Yeah. You see it there. You heard it, man.
I'm not your idol.
So a big song in your discography is Spliff in the Morning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that live by this, man. They wake and bake. I'm not a smoker. I wake and I have my granola. But, you know, some people wake up, spliff in the morning,
granola
wake and bake.
In the morning. You can just change the word. It's run it. You know what I mean? Like, granola in the morning. Yeah, granola in the evening. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, man, Spliff in the Morning, a big song in your discography.
Yeah.
Just before we was about to, you know, get into this conversation, you was definitely burning something.
Yeah.
So I want to know, man, how different is Lord Apex in the morning if he hasn't burnt something? Ooh. Are you significantly different?
Listen, ask my girl. I'm not nice. I'm not a good person. I'm not friendly. Ask my mum. I don't remember nothing. If you told me something at 9 o'clock and I woke up at 12, that conversation didn't happen to me. So like, once I've burned, I'm good.
So you are dependent.
I'm not dependent. I'm an angry person in the morning, innit? I'm an angry person in the morning to the point where it doesn't change. Like, I'm an angry person. When I burn at a zoo, I'm good. You feel me?
Say nothing.
And it's just that.
Say nothing.
I could all eat a breakfast and I'm good. But like,
what about if you run out, man?
If I don't.
You never run out?
Nah, brother.
Okay.
But like, you got to work towards that lifestyle and it's not easy. They know that out there because they've all ran out. We've ran out before, but like now, recently, no, we're lovely.
That's mad.
We're good. Yeah, it's not a game.
Now, UK-ish, one of the lead singles of the latest project, Supply and Demand. When you see the video, I like it, man. I like the aesthetics. It looks fresh and clean.
Shout out Milo Blake for the direction.
Yeah, man. Definitely needs a shout out. So one thing that is quite distinctive in the video is the handing out of the white labels.
Yeah.
White label culture, definitely very connected with the UK underground scene when it comes to like garage and grime.
Yeah.
Some people might say that they can smell a grime flow in this song.
Yeah.
So talk to me about whether you had much of a history or an entanglement with grime on your come up.
I could say, oh, you know what? I had feelings about that Jada thing, so I'm not gonna use the word entanglement in it. But I did have growing up, my introduction to grime was from my older sister Winnie. Like, she put me onto she actually put me onto YouTube in 2006 though. And that was kind of crazy. So I was early on the internet, but the first videos I was watching on the internet was Lord of the Mics. So like, that was my introduction to grime. And then one of my favorite artists at that time was D Double. Even to now, I'd probably call him my favorite UK artist of all time. Still,
New and Generals and that.
Yeah, just him and him being so distinct and different and such himself. Like, always been a big fan of that still. And then after that, So Solid. Even though there was a bit like, you know what I mean, on a different side, like a bit more up there. And then from like, yeah, that was really the earliest introductions. Like, and then I mean, I've always been around it, but like it was always all right, let me just get to the point. Like with the UK ish, like it kind of came natural because it was when V-Don sent me the beat, it was the first time he's attempted to make anything UK, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, oh, this is a wavy first attempt. And obviously with Americans, a lot of them, their point of reference for the UK is Top Boy. And it's like, what's to be expected? It's on Netflix, it's worldwide, it's shot good, it's a good story, we enjoyed it too, of course they're gonna enjoy it. So like, with that being a point of reference, like the energy in the beat kind of was going for that, you know what I mean? And I could hear it in there, so like it was really natural. Like it really came out, like I just heard the beat, I seen I heard the patterns, I seen the switches. It wasn't really hooks, it was just switch. So I knew, I was like, all right, I'm going to come on one flow and I'm going to switch the flow. but I want to catch them off guard. I want them to do, I'm going to do something just to prove this is easy for me still. So like, yeah, I came up with my own grime flow and just ran it. And whereas me, it's not even easy for me to rap fast. Like I really had to like, not put in work to get that song patterned, but like for me to write it took a little second longer than I'm used to. And so I was like, all right, cool. Like I like this. It's a challenge, you know what I mean? But once the song got done, I was like, okay, this is different. Like, and then it kind of even like had me like, oh, bro, I could make some grime stuff if I wanted to. Cause this was really like early in the project when we was working on it. Cause the first 2 songs before this, it was very hip hop. So then for him to send this one, it was like, all right, every one we was working on was a different genre. So like, yeah, it's probably my favorite to work on, but yeah, the grime influence came out naturally still. It wasn't even like a purposely thing. It really just, I heard the beat and my head was like, we're going with the grime flow. Yeah.
Supply and Demand, the latest project.
Yeah.
Your collaboration with Harlem producer V Don.
Shout out V Don.
Talk to me how, tell us a story about how you lot connected.
How we connected? Well, first and foremost, shout out my manager Max. Me and Max linked up in February. From then, it's all been up. So Max is a person. He's been around. He's been working with a lot of people for a few years. Like he's been tour managing for 15 years. So he's had a lot of connections just worldwide. And even him, and just in terms of the music, he's a fan of. We're kind of just on that same aspect of like just not very hip hop, but we're like here for that hip hop ish. Sorry, but like yeah, he linked me up with V Don because V Don's been trying to they've been working together prior as well. So like he made the connection, but it was really only supposed to be like maybe like a 3-4, like a quick EP, you know what I mean? But it was like when we started working together, the energy was just there in the songs where it was like, nah, new bunch. Every time you send a pack, I try to get it back in like 2-3 days. So it's just, we just keeping this consistency here, keeping the energy up. And once a link was made like that, like we just started going back and forth. We was talking here and there, like just like if I got an idea for a song, I might bounce it off him, or if he's gonna flip the beat, he might hit me with that. But like yeah, it just came natural once we started working. Like it was fun because it was not the first time I've worked and done a collaborative project with just a producer, but it was the first time we was actually like in contact like that and going back and forth. Whereas I done that with Stuck in Motion tape I done with Finn Foxhall and Floza. Like we done that all in person, but this, just with it being the stateside producer, this was the only way we could do that. But it was still like a good energy, even though it was just like maybe like an email back and forth or a text back and forth. So like once you kind of just bounced off each other's energies, it was like it kind of just came natural. Because even for me, I'm a different rapper than he's used to working with. He's used to working with a bit more like them street cats and just very gritty. It's like the Dark Clothes and the Etos and just real like New York rap, like heavy, like Jersey heavy, Philly heavy rappers, you know what I mean? Them heavy hitters. So like even for me, I kind of came into it a bit wary, like, oh right, like do I have to come a bit gritty with it, or should I just come into it being myself? And that's why we found a nice balance at. So like Supply and Demand, it hits a nail on the head. Like it's just a perfect collaboration between two artists from not even from two weirdly different fields, but from two different sides, but like with that same vibe, and like energy was caught perfect. Probably one of my favorite projects I've ever worked on to date. So like I'm very happy with it still.
When anyone listens to any of your projects, they can definitely hear the UK bass, but you can hear a lot of American influence.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily in the accent, but you can hear isms in the way that you rap, and also the production, the general sound.
I can break that down.
Is there much of a conscious effort or a conscious bothering or from yourself to preserve the Britishness? Is that something you don't think about?
Nah. So with me, I've always been myself. So down to how I dress, everything, it's never changed, even from birth. So like anyone that's known me from back then, they'll tell you I've always, even my twang has just always been different. I've been asked a lot, are you from this stage? You did it, you know what I mean? I've been getting asked that my whole life. So even that, I was used to it. It was kind of just, it confused me for a little while, where it's like I didn't really felt like I had a UK identity because I wasn't listening to nothing UK. But my day-to-day life, I'm in the UK, I'm in the bits, I'm west, I'm off, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, that's where I can relate, and that's where you'll get the twang when I'm talking about what I'm doing in my day-to-day. But it was like, say for instance, the music I'm listening to right now, it's not really UK. It wasn't until I started making music, I only really listened to my friends' music. That's from the UK. So it was like, I didn't felt like I related to none of the artists when I was coming up, because I was never big on grime like that. So whereas man then was listening to Skepta, I was listening to Method Man. Whereas man then was listening to Tinchy Strider, I'm listening to Busta Rhymes. So it was just natural for me. And then also before that, I grew up on reggae in the house, like very Jamaican Sunday mornings, music's playing, I gotta go clean and that, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up like that. So it was, if it wasn't rap in my own personal time and finding and discovering all of that, it was reggae. I'm listening to Beres Hammond, I'm listening to Capleton, I'm listening to Buju Banton, I'm listening to Sizzler, I'm listening to Queen Ifrica. There's
was there any Garnet Silk in there?
Of course Garnet Silk's in there.
Have to make
like,
sure, man.
Everyone is in there. Tiger, Zebra, all of them. For real. Like extensive list, you know what I mean? Capleton, all of them are in there. Taurus Riley. I could go on for days because that was really just a natural, like that's how I grew up. So twang was always different. But then I started, like, it wasn't until I started wearing it with confidence, whereas it was like, it kind of, if you listen to my first few tapes, you'll hear the twang was American. I'm saying dang instead of thing, because it was like I wasn't confident in myself yet, and more so I'm just listening to American music. So it's easy to pick out that twang like that, you know what I'm saying? So once I got more comfortable in my style, the twang came out, but then I'm very conscious of every line I put into a song. So whereas I might use an American twang, that's specifically because I'm directing this line here to my American fan base in Texas. So I might use some slang from Texas because I'm speaking to my Texas people. I might use some slang from New York because I'm speaking to my New York people. I might use some slang from South Africa because I got fans in South Africa. So my fan base is very international. So my slang is very international because I'm speaking to the whole world.
Straight up.
If I'm speaking to the UK like I just did, I start mentioning academics and No Fear and all of that we grew up on, because I'm speaking to the UK. But in general, I'm mostly speaking to the world, so like the slang's all over. You feel me? But like I might home in on one line and be like, all right, I'm directly thinking about this. I might be inspired by DJ Screw and I'm paying homage to that. So I'm talking about we're coming down and it's a different vibe. So like I can relate to, and I can break down regionally where all rap comes from. So I'm gonna appreciate and pay homage to that in the slang I use, you know what I'm saying?
With owning the Americanisms in your music, that like you just did, and also having an American manager, part of your team, how high on the
technically French,
list?
but he grew up over there.
Shouts to Max still.
Yeah, I see he's Euro boy. He's a Euro boy.
So, you know, with all of that taken into account, how high on the priority list is it for the American cosign, the acknowledgement?
This is the
from
thing.
America?
This is the thing. I've never needed the cosign, and I don't want that to be the thing. I've just always got the cosign. I was the first rapper to, if you like search in comments, they're like, "Raw, I don't like UK music, but I can listen to Lil Apex," and that's not off nothing I've done. That's just off music I've put out. That's natural. So once I started seeing these comments more and more, I understood I was going to be the first person to bridge the gap. And it's purely that. Whereas certain men have bridged the gap before, it's like, nah, people are like, because we know how ignorant Americans can be, and they also are aware of how ignorant they can be. They don't really put no respect on the UK thing. And my thing was not, all right, I'm trying to get respect and from the States. It was, all right, I'm trying to be a legend, i.e. like a Jay-Z and a Nas. So how do I get put in that category? I just got to rap great. You feel me? So it was never, how do I be the best in the UK? Because I'm putting myself in a box. Man, I'm told worldwide. Why am I putting myself in this UK box? You feel me? So it's like, man just always thought worldwide. So, how do I be the best? I got to study all of the best. And then we become the best. Do you feel me? Like, it's not raw. How do I become the best? All right, let me study all these UK things, make some wavy UK music, and now we're just in the UK. As much as I love the UK, I can rep it around the world. You feel me? But if I'm the person to bridge the gap, like it's already been happening, like that's what it is. Same way the next collabs that people are gonna start seeing coming out, it's gonna shake heads. It's not gonna be raw like da-da-da. That's when they're gonna come and be like, oh yeah, he's putting on for the UK. Where it's like, duh, this was the mission the whole time. If that man mess with me naturally, let them mess with me, fam. Because all I'm gonna do is when I start putting out albums, I put on my favorite UK artists on the album, and now they're like, raw, Americans are like, yeah, let me go check them out. Because that's all that happens, man. I'm like, raw, who else should I listen to from the UK? That sounds like you. So they know what they want to listen to. I'm just giving them that. I'm just bridging the gap. I'm really just bridging the gap.
Couple collaborations on supply and demand. An interesting debate I've been having recently with artists of all types of different backgrounds, with a singer, songwriters, spitters, MCs, whatever, is if you have a feature on your song, you lay your verse first, they do their verse afterwards, the song comes back, you hear their verse, and you feel like they overshadowed you. Where do you go from there? Do you change your verse? Do you leave your verse the same?
Never been overshadowed. Never had to redo a verse.
I mean, it can happen to the best of everybody.
No, it happens. Listen, I study rap, so I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with friends. I've seen it happen with verses I've sent back. But it's never happened to me.
But if it's never happened thus far, say it could happen. It could happen.
The level I'm at now, I'm confident I'll body anyone.
I mean, it's always a risk.
I'll body anyone on any song. You send the verse first, I send it first. I'm not redoing it. I'm going to body.
Oh, you're not doing no. But
and
I'm saying
like,
if you do your verse first,
if I do my verse first,
and they try to outdo you,
they try to outdo me. They won't. This is the thing. It might sound like that, but they didn't.
So you're not rewriting anything.
I'm not rewriting nothing because no one deserves that, bro.
Whoa.
I'm not rewriting nothing. I got to be in the studio with J Electronica. I got to be in the studio with them, man. That's when I start rewriting things because I know the world's watching. But you think someone on my own level I'm rewriting for? You're crazy. I ain't rewriting for nobody. This thing is easy. Most of my things I write in 5 minutes. So if anything, I write in 15. But nah, I'm not rewriting nothing.
Say
man.
nothing,
I just put more thought into it.
Man, ain't rewriting
just put
anything.
more thought into it, but I'm not rewriting nothing.
Supply and Demand is not the debut album.
Not
Lord
the
Apex
debut.
says that the debut album will be coming soon, and you're gonna know about it.
Smoke Sessions Volume 3.
Jeez, that will be the debut album. Yeah,
that'll be the debut.
Smoke Sessions Volume 3.
That will be the end of the trilogy too, for a few years, and then we'll bring it back.
SK Vibemaker.